share with you today. My name is Sharon and I'm from Quantum Soul. And today I'm going to be sharing the journey of the soul with you. It's a beautiful story. It's a tapestry of your journey from the moment your soul energy was created to the very reason why you are where you are today. It's a story of adventure. It's a story of love. It's a story of power, of sadness. It's a story woven and interlinked with many other stories from many other souls, all blended together in a beautiful journey that starts as a thought. So, the creation of the soul starts in the thought of the Godhead. Now, Godhead, whatever you want to call it, is made up of two faces. There are two faces to the Godhead. There is the feminine, which is your emotions, and the emotional stability or standing of the world as we know it. That's where all your healing takes place. That's where your angels go. And that's where love is. Then you've got the masculine face of the Godhead, which is your intellect, your thought processes. And it is from the masculine intellectual side or face of God that soul is created into being. So can you imagine the power behind just the fact that your soul energy was created in the first place? Here you have a thought that becomes energy in motion. And through a quantum leap, you are created as soul. So imagine you have a beautiful midnight sky dotted with millions of tiny little stars. These tiny little stars are souls that have been created. It sort of looks like bright dots of light bursting out of a portal in the middle of this navy blue sky. And all these little soul lights are dancing around. Brand new, shiny lights. And the Godhead, in its wisdom, infuses every soul light with a purpose. But there's millions of them. So how do you give each and every one a purpose? The purpose actually is quite simple. The reason souls are created is so that they can plan their incarnations, plan their own journey however they feel fit, however they want, whatever paradigms they wish to choose to create their lives in. The reason is that the experiences gained from these different incarnations and choices go straight back to the Godhead, and the intellectual face of God gathers these experiences to create new world, new life, new energy. So here you have all these tiny little stars, tiny little souls dancing around, all with a purpose. They know they've been created. So now what? Now what? So now we've been given this great responsibility. So the Godhead, in its wisdom, clusters these little souls together in groups, in families, basically. And each family supports itself. So you have a little group of souls. And of course, you can imagine there's tons of them. And for the sake of this particular session, we're going to talk about one little group. So out of the millions of groups created, you have one little group of souls. This is called cadence. A group of souls, cadence of souls, and each soul is given a label. Okay, now I use that word hesitantly because for myself, I don't like labels. But for the sake of explaining how the story works and how the story goes, each soul within that cadence or that group has a label. The label is called an archetype. Now, there's different sort of understandings around archetypes. You can have 7, 10, 12. Basically, an archetype is just a personality. So every little soul in that group gets its own brand new personality, its own archetype. And from that archetype, every incarnation is made to revolve around this archetype. So the archetype never changes from incarnation to incarnation to incarnation. And that archetype forms the basis of every soul choice that is made from the creation of that soul to when that soul exits through its journey as being attached to the earth plane. And all of that is recorded in the Akashic Records, which is a story for another day. So you've got your group of souls. They've each been given their archetype. They've each been given free will. That's the next step. The Godhead says, right, there's your bundle. Now you decide what you're going to do with it. What are you going to do with it? So each little archetype decides, right, I want to create an experience for the Godhead that is going to serve on some level. It has to be worthwhile. And I'm not going to go back to the beginning of time because we're going to be here for years. But let's say over time, these incarnations occur. The soul becomes more particular as it journeys along. It becomes more experienced, more selective. But let's say we're going to fast forward to now, all right? Your soul has been through many, many lifetimes, many lifetimes. Each lifetime evolves into something better, bigger, stronger. And in your human form, of course, you have no idea what the hell just happened, okay? You don't remember all of those experiences, and part of the time you don't really care because it's hard work. But when your soul decides to incarnate from their cadence, from the group of souls in the astral planes where souls live, okay? From there, they can either choose to incarnate with other souls within their group. They can choose to incarnate on their own. They can get so clever that soul energy can split into two and you can live parallel lives. You know, that is just the most fantastic thing. It's damn hard, but it can happen. So your soul decides now, right, I have my archetype. This is where I want to be. I want to learn a lesson around victimhood. Okay. Every soul has to have direction. Every soul needs to understand and does. Because remember, we have the intellect of the Godhead within us now. Every soul within the group, with its archetype already in place, decides the lessons it's going to learn to expand on and create the experiences worthy of the Godhead. Because remember, we're feeding the Godhead with this experience. Has to be worthwhile. Otherwise, there is no point of reincarnating. There is no point of all of this that we're going through. So, with that in mind, your soul starts to plot and plan and create. And from a place of love, unconditional, beautiful, expansive love, the story of your soul begins. And lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, the stories build. So your soul now has a purpose. This is what I'm going to do. As soul energy now, I'm going to create an experience. And I'm going to do it in such a way that I'm going to benefit. I, speaking as soul, am going to benefit. But I'm also going to go in there with nothing, no plan. So one soul gets together with another soul, gets together with another soul, and they say, right, I'm going to serve you like you're going to serve me. We're going to have a contract. We're going to have a contract that I am going to help you to see your theme as a victim in this incarnation. So whatever the situation around the actual life is, this contract is going to serve both of us. But you also have to have a contract with a family member. Okay, you're also going to have a contract with an animal. You're also going to have a contract with somebody who's going to serve you on some level that is going to be very painful for you as a human. Or bring you incredible joy like a child. Or a relationship that's going to build beautiful, worthy experiences. So you've got your group, you've got your archetype, you've got your purpose, you've decided what you're doing, you've got your contracts in place. And then from here, you're now deciding, right, I need to have an overall picture. I need to create an overall experience. I'm not just going to have one life as a victim. I need a series of lives as a victim. And let's work on about 4 or 5 lives, which is exactly how it goes. Your soul energy creates a story over 4 or 5 lives where they say, right, as a soul now, your soul energy decides over 4 or 5 lives, I'm going to create different experiences around victimhood. One life, I'm going to do this. The next life, I'm going to do that. And so on and so on and so on until eventually you have locked in all of your contracts. You've locked in your circumstances. You need a personality. You need a family. You need a name. So your life themes are created within that. So you've got your group, you've got your contracts, you've got your archetype, you've got your purpose. Okay. You've chosen now a theme to work around. The theme is victimhood. You've created lives ahead of time with other souls willing to contract with you and sacrifice with you, either to give or be on the receiving end of this incredible love contract that you've got going here. So you've created this 4 or 5 lifetimes ahead. And you've created a life theme to work with. But you need a personality to go with it. You can't just be a victim, receiving or giving, whichever way you want to do it. You need a personality that goes with it. So you create 2 life themes for yourself. One is what you're doing. That's the victim. The other is who you are while you're doing it. So that's your primary life theme. So you have now created personality, contracts. What the hell are you doing here? Victim. 4 or 5 lifetimes ahead, because you know in this lifetime you've got to do this, and this other lifetime you've got to do something else, and everything just kind of meshes together. Then on top of that, you need support. Because God damn it, it's damn hard down here. It's so hard down here. And from a place of extreme beauty, peace and love, which is the place and the energy of the astral, not like the three-dimensional reality we're living in here. But you don't see it like that. As a soul energy, everything's wonderful. Gosh, I can create a most beautiful life. And your soul energy may not realize or may not remember how hard it is down here. So in-step your guides. And these beautiful benevolent beings are contracted as well. They promise to be with you from start to finish. Your spirit guide family are there to support you. So you've got everything in place. You're ready. You've got your soul personality, the foundation of why you've been created. You've got your contract with the Godhead. You're going to give back your experiences. You've got your contracts in place. Some of them are soulmate energies with your soul tribe or your cadence. Some of them are contracts of service. And I just want to put in here that in a new reality, there is no karma. It is only ever a case of balancing out. So if you create a contract with a soul from a past life, it is purely a contract of love and service. No karma. All right, got that out the way. So you've created these things. You've now created a personality for yourself, or human personality, in the form of a life theme. You've created a purpose for reincarnating in the form of a secondary life theme, which is your victimhood. You've created a scene. I'm going to be born into this family at this time, in this star sign. For those of you who believe in star signs and follow them, I've created this pattern over 4 or 5 lives now that I can then take the experiences and I can honor my contract with source energy, with the divine, with the Godhead, and do what I came here to be created to do. And I'm ready. I have my spirit family involved. My spirit guides are here. They've contracted. They've promised to give me support. But there's one last thing. What if it's so damn hard down there and I want to leave? As a soul energy, you've got free will. Exactly like we have on human level. You've got free will. That's how you're able to create all this stuff in the first place. So divine law basically says that you can exit. You can plan your exits throughout the course of any incarnation. You had 4 or 5 exit points. So your soul energy knows before it even comes here and arrives that it can exit if the going gets too tough. Which is why, by the way, there is never any judgment through any passing, whether it is suicide, car crash, a dread disease. There's never any judgment around a passing. So everything's in place. I'm ready to do this. Through a tunnel of light, you come, your soul energy. Now, some souls only want to experience what it is like to be in utero. They experience that love, the warmth, listening to the heartbeat of the mother, experiencing her emotions, experiencing the circumstances around being pregnant. Happy or sad, doesn't matter. On a soul level, you're absorbing those energies. Time to be born. Sometimes you have a human heartbreak of a miscarriage. Maybe you have a stillborn child. These experiences on a soul level will serve you as a human mother and father and family member, but they will also create the most beautiful experience of closure and understanding and acceptance on a soul level, where that soul has asked permission of the mother's energy to come in and then to leave when they need to. So, let's say that doesn't happen. Here comes this beautiful child born into this world. There is a tremendous drop. It's like a thud. When that soul energy comes from a higher dimension, much higher dimension, into the solid three-dimensional reality of this earth plane. Now imagine you have energy of a starseed, or the energy of a crystal, or the energy of a rainbow child, or a moon child, or any one of these higher dimensional soul energies that have done this reincarnation trip 1,000 times, but they're back, and they're back to serve, but they struggle to fit into this heavy 5-dimensional reality where they are given a name, they are given a purpose, they are given limitations, and they struggle and they struggle. And what happens throughout the human incarnation with anybody, those souls aside, those soul energies aside, there are constant triggers that allow us as a soul to have human lessons that create experiences that our soul energy gathers up and hands back to the Godhead when the time is right. So your higher dimensional energies coming through, your old soul energies coming through into this heavy 3-dimensional reality that we're in right now, they are hit really, really hard. They are labeled and they are boxed and they are controlled to the point that they actually, they can't breathe. But they've chosen to be here and they understand on a soul level that this is their journey, this is their thing. They may choose to exit. Anybody can. Any soul can. It's their divine rights. If they don't, and they choose to live out their full existence as they have planned to, they serve their contracts, they do what is necessary to get through this incarnation that they have contracted to do. Guides, family members, soul contracts, all the stuff, all the stuff that's been created. It's time to leave. Exit, go. Leave the heavy vibration of that body behind them. Back up to the beautiful reality of the astral planes that we call home, heaven, nirvana, whatever you want to label it. And in that reality, they are met by other like souls, family members, angels, guides. All right? These are just energies. These are not physical forms, of course, because once you cross over, you are now pure light energy again. And it's like, wow, I'm free of that heavy vessel. And in a spark of time, remembering time is an illusion, it's infinite actually, you're there. You're back home, back in your tribe, back in your cadence, back where you feel safe and loved. You now get a chance to review. You may need a bit of healing, and that's your choice. That may be because you've passed over very quickly. Perhaps your exit point that you chose was not really the time that you should have exited, but because of free will, you took it. Whatever the circumstances are, you may need healing. Healing received, you sit with a counsel, you review your life. Your soul gathers those experiences like treasure. They're sorted. Energy goes back to the Godhead, the masculine, intelligent, intellect, face of God. And you rest. After a period of rest, you can then get back with your cadence, with your soul group, and you can discuss. Now, bearing in mind, every one of those souls in your group and all the other groups out there have been through the same incarnation cycle, or coming and going and coming and going. It's like a bus station, aeroplanes landing and taking off. It's crazy, in and out, in and out. And it's a flash in and a flash out because time is infinite in the astral. It's only here that it becomes a big deal, that we live our lives according to the clock. But in soul, there is no time. So souls come and go, one incarnation to the next, back and forth in linear time. Nothing's cast in stone. So your soul energy has now returned home, back in its group. All the different archetypes joining together. Some of them have served together, some of them haven't. Some soul energies have split and come back as a whole being of light, and you discuss. And this is what I experienced, and this is what I experienced. I, talking as soul now, this is what I've done. This is what happened. And it was really exciting. It was such a trip, like, whoa, you're not going to believe it down there. It's so hectic. Of course, when we're in our human existence, it's like, what the hell did I decide to do this for? But in soul, it's peaceful, it's beautiful. You're collected, you are connected back to source energy, and you are full and filled with that unconditional love in which you were created in the first place. And then you get to decide, do I do this again? I have 4 or 5 of these lives to go through before I fulfill the point of this whole thing, why I decided to do the victim thing anyway. I've got to see my contract through because my contract is with source energy. Let's do this. Back again. We start. Contracts, personalities, life themes. But as each soul journey, or let's say each incarnation happens, your soul is going to take the experiences from the last incarnation and they're going to build them into the new incarnation. And they're going to recreate the story. When that cycle is finished, they're going to recreate that other story. Then it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on, until the 4 or 5 lives are complete, and that cycle is done. It's written in the Akashic as a vibrational storyline of your soul journey, which is why you can go into the Akashic records at any time and find out where you've been and what you've been doing and how you've been doing it, and best of all, how brave you are. How awesome you are, and you rock. That, my friends, is where you came from. And the purpose of you being here is because you have your destiny to fulfill, your soul destiny to fulfill. That is how important you are. Don't ever think that your life is wasted. Don't ever think that you're wasting your time here. You have come with a pack of knowledge. Your wisdom on a soul level is immense. You haven't done this for nothing. You are here to serve a purpose. So serve out your contracts. Live your life to the full. Do your very best. Serve with love, forgiveness, with grace. You'll be going home at some point along your journey. And whether you're part of a cycle or whether you're at the end of the cycle, the point is that you've been created to do this for a reason. I've loved spending this time with you. I hope you've found this fulfilling and informative. May you stay blessed. May you always walk in the light. And remember that you are loved.